Got a story from the US, the good old US justice system this week. A man has drawn himself to freedom.
Wow.
Classic.
Yeah.
Drawn.
That is the short form of that story.
Like drawing a short straw?
No, as in he drew with pencils on paper.
I thought you were being
So Valentino Dixon, 48, of New York, serving a 39-year minimum sentence for the killing of Toriano Jackson in 1991. So he's been in there for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, what happened in 1991 is that he was at a party or some sort of gathering, and there was a fist fight broke out over a girl between these two.
Ooh.
And it sort of escalated into a gunfight. So someone pulled out a gun, and Valentino was the one who was convicted of the crime.
Someone died.
He always, and Toriano died. Valentino's always maintained his innocence, and another man, a friend of his called Lamar Scott, has actually always confessed that he did it from the very beginning. So he says he picked up his gun while Valentino was down somewhere else getting a beer, like downstairs. So this is one of his drawings actually on the screen right now.
They're really good.
Yeah. This is
pencil.
colored pencil.
It looks like painting.
On paperboard, which is like a thicker form of paper.
It's really good.
Yeah. So what had happened is one of the wardens at the prison had noticed that he was really good at drawing and asked him to paint. He'd given him a photo as a favor and said it was a photo of the 12th hole at Augusta National, which is like a really famous golf course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really beautiful golf course hole as well. So there's probably one of those pictures is that. It's a different one from this. So drawing golf courses became his thing. So he drew this one for that guy. It'll be one with a bridge.
This one? Oh.
See the one with the bridge? That's the 12th hole. It's a different. He's done multiple ones. I think there's one below, just left. That's yeah. So anyway, that's the whole. It is actually a really beautiful place, and it's something about golf courses appeal to him. I think because he's stuck in a prison. This is the way he described it, as something about the freedom of it and like how tranquil it was. Yeah. That's spoken like a person who's never actually played golf though, because it's very frustrating.
That's what he said. He's from the hood. He's never played golf.
He's never been to a golf course. So he was like saying, "Oh man, I hope one day I can go." I think that was while he was still in and wasn't released. But anyway, what happened was he starts drawing lots of these golf pictures. There was like 100 drawings in, and the magazine called Golf Digest picked it up. They noticed, this guy's drawing really beautiful drawings in prison. This is a great story. They sent one of their reporters, so the opposite of a news.com reporter, Max Adler, did a profile on Dixon, but he didn't just so he could have just done a profile on a guy in prison who does really amazing drawings. He actually did the background research into his case and all the issues that were surrounding his case. So one of the things was the police lab didn't find any gunshot residue on his clothing. And the prosecution did not tell his defense lawyer this. Like, they didn't even have that information. There was conflicting witness statements about what had happened, and the witnesses who were saying he didn't do it weren't called because they'd been convicted of perjury, of lying. I think the lie that they told was that he didn't do it. So I was confused. It was hard to find like good details in the stories without going really deep into it. But it seemed like there was a lot of issues with his case. And because of this write-up in Golf Digest, they basically it got a lot of attention, like other media attention, and people started looking into it. So I think the Golf Channel, Fox Sports, this is according to Golf Digest's own article, Georgetown University Prison Reform Project, along with his daughter, Valentina, who's 27 because she was a baby when he got incarcerated, started a campaign to raise money for his legal fees and things. So I think that was in 2012 when Golf Digest first wrote about him.
Yep.
And now it's taken 6 years of like all these appeals and processes and stuff.
The case.
Yeah.
And they've basically come to the point of finally accepting the other guy's confession.
Yeah.
and he's been, for the first time in that whole period, allowed to officially confess to the crime.
Jeez.
And
Which is so weird.
oh yeah,
It said he tried like 10 times. Like it was like not just once.
it said 10 times. There was one period I read in one of the articles. There was a period when he did change his story, but apparently it was under pressure from the prosecutor. And I imagine the prosecutor was saying, if you do confess to this, I'm gonna destroy you, death penalty or something. I don't know.
Which is a huge thing. There's a whole Netflix show about false confessions.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
So, wow. So through obviously someone noticing his art, really.
Yeah.
That's how he got that little
Well,
bit
this is a quote from his current lawyer who's doing it pro bono, Donald Thompson. Said, once a case crosses a certain threshold of media attention, it matters even though it shouldn't. It's embarrassing for the legal system that for a long time the best presentation of the investigation was from a golf magazine.
Wowie.
Yeah. That's why I said the guy who did the article in the first place, what a legend. Because he didn't have to do that. It's a golf magazine.
Yeah.
You write about golf.
Correct.
He could have just
Not
put pretty pictures and then
not
it's like,
people
fine.
painting golf
Well, I think,
courses.
yeah, just the whole story is so interesting because once you start reading it and you see the things, it kind of gets unbelievable and more unbelievable, and you just kind of down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I can definitely see how the journalist probably just got interested and just kind of dove.
Yeah, and went into it, or like, why is he saying he's innocent?
Yeah.
The reporters had asked Dixon what he was doing afterwards, and he said there's a quote from him, "I'm going to Red Lobster to celebrate with my family and my support team. Then we're going to go to a park. And the next day he's going to visit his grandmother. He's going to buy a cell phone. He's going to register for a passport at the post office so he can meet his wife of 12 years, Louise, who lives in Australia. She has a golden heart, and the two met because she has spent her life seeking to help those she can."
Jeez,
Wow.
I always find that so crazy.
Yeah. So he might come to Australia and draw some golf courses.
There we go.
It's interesting that he didn't say he wanted to go play golf.
Yeah.
Like,
Man,
just
if
wanted
I
to go
had
to
a
the
golf
park.
course, I would get this guy to come and do a painting. It'd be like the easiest publicity stunt ever.
Yeah, I would get him to come and teach him how to play.
Or that. Yeah.
Imagine he was a good golfer.
So is the other guy in prison now?
He was already in prison when this was all happening, so he subsequently got put in prison
For
for
something
like
else.
an assault. I think it was an assault
Copy
charge or
that.
something.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing because he would have
Hectic.
been in jail instead of committing that crime, which is
Yeah.
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Nick really wants us to talk about American Vandal season 2. Have you guys watched it? It's actually related to this in that there's a huge thing about a false confession in it.
I didn't know it
Right.
came out already. Hectic.
Nope.
So speaking of investigations that are kind of weird and funny, listen, that one wasn't funny, but this show is funny. American Vandal season 2 came out, and it's pretty whatever, I think. It doesn't have the magic of the first one.
The first one was like a real sleeper hit. Like no one knew anything about it. And
To me, the first one was the magic funny was the guy who was getting accused he was
very
comedy
funny.
gold, and he's not in this one.
Ah.
And the guy who kind of is getting accused in this one, so they go to a different school because they get so famous. Everyone wants them to investigate their school. So what happened at a new school, something called the Brown Hat happened, where someone poisoned the lemonade and everyone pooed themselves. Very funny. That part of it's great because they actually have heaps of footage of people just crapping themselves.
Ew.
And it's like, it's super exaggerated. And because of the style of the thing, it's really funny because they have so many different angles of it and like drone shots. It's just like, but it's people just crapping themselves, which is that's the magic of the show, is like how serious they take the stupidity of what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm only halfway through it, so I'm not going to say, like, I can't final judgment it because it might kind of pull up and get a lot better.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'd rather rewatch season 1.
Rewatch it. Shoot.
Season 1's really funny. Have you seen it?
Do
Do you know what it's about?
Yeah. The one that isn't it the
Doodles.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's not my kind of humor. It's like way too American. No offense, but I didn't like it, so I stopped. It's not my vibe.
Have you heard of dictation?
Yeah, but it's just like it's got that like nah, it's not my vibe. No.
Sometimes I wonder.
To me, it's like it's actually better than true crime because like they actually make it funny and make it entertaining. But yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm trying to think about what I don't like. It's that. Just saying.
drawings of penis.
This is that too.
Just dicks.
You're
Not
such a freaking.
Yeah, that's it for Trendsettings episode 106 this week.
Short
How do you guys think we went?
Very short.
Yeah, well.
We had 4 stories, but usually one of them carries on, but none of them really.
Mine would have, but you wanted to talk
We're
about
right on
that
time, aren't we?
What?
American Vandals.
It sounded like you were finished.
Did it?
You summed up.
Okay.
You wrapped it up.
Because you said he's coming to Australia. I was like, oh, cool, sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have more?
We can't go back.
Oh, we could have.
can't go
It's
back.
too late. We've talked about
Just
American
keep going.
Vandal now.
Keep going.
I really thought you were done.
That was
I
a very
thought so
weird
too.
segue.
He just kept bringing it up in the comments.
Paused.
Guess that's how we're doing things now.
Yeah.
Aren't we right on time?
Huh?
Aren't we right on time?
We're a bit early.
Oh, okay.
We
Well, consider it in chat.
We started a few minutes late. It's
Have
all
you been
good,
watching? Have you been watching The Bachelor? I forgot to ask you.
I keep trying, but
Is it too much?
it's complicated.
Do you keep trying?
Has Emma?
Why do you
Emma's been
keep
watching.
trying?
Look, we're both working hard. We're both working long hours. We're trying to pay for a wedding, right? It is hard to get us both in one room and to sit down and watch The Bachelor.
Okay.
It seems easy. I know.
Is it
It
good?
looks like it'd be an easy thing.
I'm not watching it because it makes me feel extremely uncomfortable.
Really?
So weird. He's so weird.
He's so weird.
He's
Oh,
not
so
weird,
it's not
he's
the
weird.
concept of The Bachelor
How-
that
No,
makes you feel
I like it.
uncomfortable.
I watched
Okay.
previous, but he's just like, what did he say last night? He's like, oh, it's higher than our Bob Marley. And I'm like, who says that?
I actually agree that he's
seems
not
pretty
getting
normal.
weird. I just think
It's uncomfortable.
it's like he doesn't want to be there anymore.
No. Yeah, like he was just paid to be there.
I feel like he was trying at the beginning, and now it's just like, what? Let's come on,
Yeah.
guys, let's speed it up.
Because he's a media.
Hmm.
Boop.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's a freaking.
He's a media. Boop.
I tell you what,
Do you
though,
love it though?
you know
Nah.
who
It
should
just-
be
it's just-
ashamed is these bloody articles that come out the day after that tell you who got kicked off the night before.
Yeah.
It's bloody ridiculous.
What's wrong with
I
that?
opened a newsletter today, and it had who got kicked out last night.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty.
not
Wait,
even
what
not
was
even
the
a
news-
day later.
What was the newsletter from?
Yeah, what newsletter did you
The
get?
Bachelor newsletter.
Irrelevant.
You tell us.
But if it was the Bachelor one, it would have been even more. It was bloody Pedestrian TV, which they always spoil things in their article headlines. It actually
Yeah.
kills me.
I'm pretty sure their
Punky
job
does
is
as
to
well.
watch TV.
Punky does it the next day.
Yeah, but in the newsletter,
Oh.
the title of it had the chick's name, so it was
Oh.
so obvious.
You have to
Just
say
say it,
spoiler
Ali.
alert.
No, I'm not a bloody monster.
It was
But you
Sally.
do you
I don't
know
even
their
know.
names?
clearly.
I know this one.
Yes, he does.
Clearly,
That's
he's very
So
upset
does that mean you've
about
been
it.
watching it?
That's not true though. I have been watching it. I
Oh,
will admit
okay.
that.
Yeah.
But
Seems a bit upset.
there's like 25 of them, right? But you only ever see like 6 of them. So half the time people are getting kicked off. And you're like, I've never seen her before
Yeah,
in my
Because I get
life.
no one at one time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
They
oh,
didn't make
all
enough
the
of a
people you
scene.
like paid attention to are still there, but like, who are these people getting kicked off? They didn't even get a chance.
No.
You need to make more of a scene.
That's the worst.
Oh, there's been plenty of scenes. Anyway, that's it
Hey.
for episode 106 of Trend Settings. We'll see you next week on Facebook at Thursday at 8 p.m. Whether or not you're watching The Bachelor. And yeah, thanks for listening / watching. We'll see you next week.
Pow pow.